So today we're going to be talking about circuit diagrams in Science with the Bakers, and that is a circuit that was created earlier by Aaron, and you can see that that has a lot of wires hanging around and lights and switches and whatnot. And if you were an electrician and you wanted to draw that to put into a book, it would be very complicated. So they have a way that they do these called circuit diagrams. So electricians and engineers, when they're making a circuit diagram for like a house or an apartment, use a series of symbols so they don't draw what it actually looks like. So circuit diagrams, these are a way that engineers and electricians show circuits using a picture. And they have diagrams, which are symbols to represent the actual things. So a wire is represented by like this straight line, and a cell or a battery is represented by these two lines. The longer of the bars is the positive terminal, and the shorter is the negative. You may see a lamp or a bulb represented in either of these two ways. It depends on which kind of diagram you're looking at. So both of those things are a bulb. You might involve a buzzer or a motor, and they have symbols too. Switches that are open or switches that are closed, and a resistor, which is something that slows down the speed of electricity. So if we imagine this is a simple circuit that has a cell and a wire and a wire and a light bulb. And right now, that's not a circuit diagram, even though it is a picture, because that's pretty much what an actual battery looks like, and a bulb resembles that. So if I was going to start making a circuit diagram for this particular circuit that we've created, the first thing I need to do is use my symbol for a bulb. And I'm going to choose this one because it's a little easier to draw. So the bulb is on the bottom, just like this. And up top, I've got my cell. So there's my cell, right? Because look, there's the end that's positive. So I've got my positive one over here. And now I need to connect it with wires. But in here, these wires are circular. That's not allowed in a circuit diagram. So everything in a circuit diagram has to be straight lines and right angles. So there's the circuit diagram of this particular piece. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at some circuits, and then we're going to make diagrams of them. All right, here we go. All right, welcome back to Science with the Bakers. Today we have an extra intent set of helpers today. It's really tricky concepts, so we brought in another helper to assist us. Today we're working with circuit diagrams. So earlier we took a look at some of the stuff that talked about circuit diagrams, and we'll take a look at a circuit that Brooke is building. So what are you building there, Brooke?
A simple circuit.
A simple circuit. Okay, Aaron, so let's look at the parts that are in Brooke's circuit. So can you tell us what parts there are in the circuit?
There are two batteries.
Two batteries.
Two wires.
Don't lick electricity,
And
doggy.
Hali.
That's a safety concern.
No one.
All right, Brooke, so you might need to jiggle that lamp a little bit. So when we look at it, there we go. So she's got it lit up. So let's look at the parts. So there's two batteries, and there's two wires, and there's that bulb holder. So if we look at this thing, we're not going to draw it just the way it looks, because that would be much too complicated. So electricians don't do it that way. What they do is they make a circuit diagram. So do you remember what a bulb looks like, Aaron?
It's like a line and a shorter line next to it.
Okay, so that's actually the battery. So
oops.
it's a line and a shorter line. And we have two batteries, so we need to put two of them in there. And what about the bulb?
It's like upside down W and with a circle around it.
All right, so we've got our symbol. We've got our two batteries up here. We've got our bulb down there. So when we draw a circuit diagram, it's important now that we put on these wires. But in a circuit diagram, everything has to be straight and 90 degrees. So the circuit diagram for the Brooke circuit would look a lot like this. All right, so now Aaron's going to try one. We're going to fire our assistant because they're being a little bit of a distraction. And now we're going to take a look at Aaron's circuit. So Aaron.
I thought you fired me.
Not you, just the dog. You're back. Okay, so Aaron's back, and Aaron's going to build a different circuit. So here comes Aaron's circuit. All right, so we're back. We had to get rid of the other assistant. Unlike Scooby-Doo, who solves mysteries, Hali was more interested in licking things and was probably going to electrocute her or us or somebody. So she's history. That brings us back to what we're talking about with circuit diagrams. So Aaron's going to try to make something more complicated. Brooks was very basic, just a basic circuit with the bulb and the batteries and the wires. So Aaron's is going to be more complicated. So remember, everything has a symbol. There's a symbol for the cell, there's a symbol for a wire, there's a symbol for a bulb, symbol for a motor or a buzzer or resistors or whatever it is that you need to put into the diagram, and many, many more things. So when engineers or electricians do their diagrams, they have very, very complicated with lots of different things going on. But like we said before, you're not going to draw this when you're trying to build something, right? Obviously a house that has many lights in a room, so like this one here, you're not going to have lots of drawings of this. That would be way too time consuming and very difficult to follow. So here's where we have Aaron. So we've got what's that over there, Aaron?
The light switch.
The light switch. So in this case, how many different batteries are we using?
2.
So we've got 2 batteries. So remember, the batteries are represented by the long and the short lines, where the long line is the positive terminal, small line is negative terminal. And then what else is in this particular circuit?
3 wires.
3 wires.
And a light bulb.
And a light bulb. Okay. Is there anything else besides 3 wires and a light bulb?
And 2 batteries and the light switch.
And the switch over there too. So the switch, if we're going to draw the way it is right now, so we have to have all of these different things. So remember, the wires are drawn with straight lines. So if we look at this circuit diagram of Aaron's one over here, down here, this is the other symbol for a bulb. So that's the bulb down there. Over here, there's our 2 batteries and our switch. And our 3 wires would be, this is our first 1 wire that goes from battery to switch. Here's the second wire, goes from switch to lamp. And the last wire goes from lamp, bulb, back to batteries. So just like over here, there's a wire to a light bulb. That's this one over here. Then there's one that goes from the batteries to the switch, so battery to switch. And then this one down here is switch to bulb, or over here from switch to bulb. And this would look a little bit different if you opened it and drew that circuit diagram. Instead of this symbol for a closed switch, we'd replace it with this different symbol over here for an open switch. So there's some work online you can take a look at, and that's a circuit diagram.